fix my stuff.
All right, we are live.
I just had it up here.
We did the Christmas murders last time, and something was wrong with our microphones. We don't something I don't know what had happened, but we'll do like a brief thing because you can always listen to it on Podbean. We talked about the Covina massacre. That was a mass murder carried out on Christmas Eve, 2008, by a disgruntled ex-husband in Los Angeles, California. Bruce Jeffrey Pardo.
He was crazy.
Oh yeah, he was wearing a Santa suit, entered a property belonging to his former in-laws in Covina, killed 9 people by shooting or arson from the fire he started. Pardo was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot at his brother's residence in the early hours of Christmas Day. They speculate Pardo's divorce, which had been finalized a week before the killings, was a factor. That's why he decided to kill his ex-wife and her relatives.
But he brought him a present.
Yes, he did. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve, Bruce Pardo, he was dressed in a Santa suit, arrived at his former in-law's house in a rental car, so he wouldn't be noticed, apparently. They wouldn't recognize him. He had with him a multiple 9mm Sig Sauer handguns and a large gift-wrap package containing a rolling air compressor converted to a spray racing fuel. He knocked on the door and his 8-year-old niece answered. Pardo pulled out the handguns and immediately shot. So maybe he was thinking that she was one of the grown-ups. I don't know. Wounding her, he then fired indiscriminately at fleeing partygoers. So he wasn't discriminating about nobody. After opening fire with handguns, Pardo unwrapped the package containing the compressor and sprayed fuel around the interior of the home. Police believe the fire was intended to be ignited with a flare, but the fuel contacted the open flame at the house where there was an explosion. Between gunfire and flames, a total of 9 family members were killed and 3 were injured. One of the survivors made it to a neighbor's house where she called the police and identified Pardo as a likely suspect. Pardo had apparently planned a detailed escape, had rented multiple vehicles, and parked near one of the house of his ex-wife's divorce attorney, full of supplies and maps of the Southwest and Mexico. Police speculate the attorney might have also been a target. Pardo had also made plans to visit a friend in Iowa, had purchased a Christmas morning plane ticket from Los Angeles to Moline, Illinois. He was also carrying cash strapped to his body. However, though, the explosion and fire had left Pardo with third-degree burns on his arms and legs after setting the home on fire. Pardo then changed out of his Santa outfit and drove to his brother's house, where he later was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the mouth at around 3 a.m. His brother was not present at the time of Pardo's death. The medical examiners found that cocaine was in the system at the time of the attack and his death. Which that was, it don't matter if cocaine was playing in there or not. That was premeditated.
Yeah.
He had all that stuff ready to go before Pardo's rental car, parked 1 block from his brother's house, contained remnants of his Santa suit, booby traps, so that moving the suit would trigger a fire and set off 200 rounds of ammunition. At Pardo's house in Montrose, police recovered 5 empty boxes of semi-automatic handguns, 2 shotguns, a container for high-octane fuel gas tank, and they also found what was described as a virtual bomb-making factory in his home.
Yeah, but it was all because he did coke.
Yeah. In addition to the 3 injured victims, the 9 deceased include Sylvia Ortega Pardo. She was 43. Ex-wife of Bruce, that was his ex-wife. Alicia Sotomayor Ortega, age 70. That was the mother-in-law. Joseph S. Ortega, 79, the father-in-law. Charles Ortega, 50, brother-in-law. Sherry Lynn Ortega, 45, sister-in-law. James Ortega, 52, brother-in-law. Tessa Ortega, 52, sister-in-law. Alicia Ortega, Ortiz, age 46, sister-in-law, and Michael Andre Ortiz, age 17, nephew. Bruce Jeffrey Pardue, he lived in San Fernando Valley, and he graduated from Francis High School, and he had worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in LA, Canada. In 2004 is when he met Sylvia Pardo Ortega. They feel his motivation was because it was related to marital problems. After the couple had wed in 2006 of January, their marriage fell apart pretty quick within the first year because he refused to open a joint bank account. Yeah, that's
all about the money, honey.
With Sylvia, so he also expected his wife to use her own finances to take care of their own 3 children, which some speculation that the divorce may have also caused Pardo to concealing the child from a previous. He had a child from a previous relationship for which he did not pay child or spousal support. In 2008, a divorce order Pardo to pay $17.85 a month in spousal support. During the divorce proceedings, Pardo confided to a friend, his wife was taking him to the cleaners. In July, Pardo, with no criminal or record history of violence, was fired from his job as an electrical engineer. Wow. At ITT Corporation Electronics.
That would explain how they could expect him to pay $17.85 a month.
Yeah, for billing false hours. The divorce court suspended the support payments due to his financial hardship. However, as part of the divorce settlement, Pardo was required to pay his ex-wife $10,000. She was permitted to keep her wedding ring and family dog. Pardo complained to the court that Sylvia was living with her parents, not paying rent, and had spent lavishly on luxury car gambling trips to Las Vegas, meals at expensive restaurants, massages, and golf lessons. Wow.
What does he care? Was he stalking her? How does he know?
Pardo and Sylvia finalized their divorce a week prior to the attack. That's crazy. The next one we're going to go to is Lawson family murders.
These guys look like the Addams family.
Absolutely, they do.
You
have
need
to
look it up.
That's got to be because look, he looks like Lurch. There's a guy that looks just like Lurch on here.
They absolutely look like the Addams family. This guy killed all his children.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this guy now, except for the one son that he sent to go do something.
This happened in 1929 on Christmas Day. Wow. You did not just tell me that.
I don't.
Charlie Lawson murdered his wife and 6 other children before killing himself in Strokes County. Tragedy occurred on the farm just days after Charlie had taken the whole family into town. We'll go fix it.
Well, there's no fixing that once it's there. Once you're in, you're in.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
it happened on a farm. The eerie photograph, unusual expense of the poor family that era. They don't look well off.
Well, they
you still don't shoot all your kids.
They look like they're all incest too, because they're talking about them being incest too.
Well, different strokes for different folks. That's no excuse to kill a bunch of babies.
True.
Charlie sent his 16-year-old son off to errands before he did this, though. So he did have a favorite.
Yeah,
But they don't have any idea why he did what he did.
Yeah, he sent his son off on an errand before going to the tobacco barn, where he shot and bludgeoned his 2 middle daughters, Carrie and Mabel. And he then went to the house and killed the remaining members of his family, including 4-month-old Mary Lou. 4-month-old? What does Mary Lou got to do with anything? She gonna talk?
The guy looks like he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He positioned the bodies by putting rocks underneath their heads and crossing their arms.
Yeah.
Apparently he thought they were going to camp out and sleep. I don't know.
Well, no, keep going.
Afterwards, he hid out in the woods, apparently pacing around the tree while neighbors and police gathered at the house. All there heard the gunshot when
everybody that was in the area heard the gunshot.
When Charlie took his own life. The sole survivor of the tragedy was James Arthur Lawson, later married and had children before dying in an automobile accident in 1945. Wow.
But there's a bunch of folk songs that it says after the story, which I can't understand how you can make a song about it when some crazy guy decides to shoot up his family except for his favored son on Christmas Day.
Afterwards, he returned to the house and shot Fanny, who was on the porch. As the gun was fired, Marie, who was inside, screamed, while the two small boys, James and Raymond, attempt to find a hiding place. Lawson shot Marie and then shot the two boys. Lastly, he killed baby Mary Lou. It was thought that she was bludgeoned to death. After the murders, he went into nearby woods and later shot himself a few hours later. The 16-year-old is the only one that survived, which was Arthur. He ran errand just before he did his deadly work, and the bodies were found, of course, with their arms crossed, with their head under a rock under their heads. This gunshot signaling Lawson's own suicide was heard by many people, and had already gathered there. The police officer who was with Charlie Lawson ran and found Charles dead and letters to his parents, and footprints around the tree where he was been pacing around before he had taken his life. There are rumors as to why Charlie took the lives of himself and his family. It was speculated that Charlie did not murder his family at all, that it was staged to look as if Charlie had committed suicide, and one of these explanations was that Charlie witnessed an organized crime incident and had been found out and his family murdered for it. Another involves a black man Charlie had started a fight with. Neither of these rumors seem to be plausible, or it could fit with facts. All signs obviously pointed to murder-suicide. An incest theory is that it wasn't until the book White Christmas, Bloody Christmas was published in 1990. On a claim service, they interviewed many people regarding Lawson family murder. They were saying that Bruce Jones and Trudy Smith had several people recounted rumors regarding Charlie incest, and the authors had called from an anonymous woman. She said that she had gone on a tour to the Lawson home shortly after the murders, and the tour guide had told the incest rumor, which stated as fact that the day before the book was published, the author received a phone call from Stella Lawson, daughter of Marion Lawson and cousin to Lawson children, who had already interviewed for the book. On occasion, she told them the truth of why Charlie did it. Stella said that at the funeral for the Lawsons, she had overheard Fanny's sisters-in-laws. So it's like a hearsay.
Right.
Including Stella's mother, Jetty Lawson, discussing how Fanny Lawson confided to them that he had been concerned about Charlie and Marie. Jetty died early 1928, meaning Fanny had been suspicious of the incest, at least the long before murders in 1929. It's hard to say. Shortly after the murders, Charlie's brother Marion Lawson opened the home on Brook Cove Road as a tourist attraction. A cake that Marion Lawson had baked on Christmas Day was displayed on the tour because visitors began to pick at the raisins on the cake to take as souvenirs. It was placed in a covered glass cake dish and thus preserved for many years.
Yum yum, give me some.
Oof. I wouldn't want any of that.
I just can't imagine killing kids. It's crazy.
The next one would be the Daniels family murders.
Santa Claus murders.
Yes. The Daniels family murders are known as Santa Claus murders. Occurred on December 4th, 1977 in Santa Claus, Georgia. 1997, I'm sorry. in Santa Claus, Georgia. So Santa Claus murders in December on Santa Claus, Georgia. When 4 members of the family were attacked and murdered by 20-year-old Jerry Scott Heidler. On the day of the murders, Heidler broke into the home of Daniels and used a shotgun to kill 47-year-old Danny Daniels and his 33-year-old wife, Kim Daniels. Subsequently, Heidler gunned down the couple's 8-year-old son, Bryant Daniels, and 16-year-old Jessica Daniels, and kidnapped 3 other girls, one of whom was later molested by Heidler from the home. After the authorities got involved, Heidler was arrested and charged with 4 murders. He was found guilty of 4 counts of malicious murder and sentenced to death. On September 4, 1999, Heidler remains on death row at the Georgia Diagnostic Classification State Prison as of 2025. It was saying that in 1997, 4 members of the local family residing in town of Santa Claus, Georgia, was brutally murdered in a shotgun. Background revealed that, prior to the shootings, 47-year-old Danny Daniels and his 33-year-old wife, Kim, were patriarch and matriarch of the family, had taken care of foster kids from time to time. In addition to their own 4 children, the couple had also took in several foster children. 3 of whom were residing in the same house with the family before the incident. Kim herself, who was also a foster child in the past, one of the foster children previously under a couple's care of Joanne Heidler and during Joanne's stay with the Daniels family, her brother Jerry Heidler, who would often come to visit the family, thus became acquainted with them. A few months before the shootings, Heidler had also started a relationship with Jessica, the 16-year-old daughter of Kim and Danny. Oh, wow. Heidler stopped visiting the Daniels family after Danny got wind of his daughter's relationship, and Heidler, which prompted him to have a conversation with Heidler, leading to the latter to stop visiting him. Several months later, Heidler's girlfriend, who was pregnant with his second son, gave birth, but the child was stillborn. On December 3rd, 1997, the day after the boy's death, Heidler went to his son's funeral. Distraught, Heidler left the funeral, and in early hours of December 4th, 1997, 20-year-old Jerry Heidler drove over to the house of the Daniels family.
He broke into a bathroom window.
Yes, he broke into a bathroom window upon his arrival and retrieved a Remington 1100 semi-automatic shotgun from the family's gun cabinet. He then shot Danny and Kim in their sleep and proceeded to kill their 8-year-old son Bryant, and then he was then a third-grade student. With a shot to the head as he slept. Jessica ran into her parents' room and Heidler followed. He shot her in the back of the head, and realizing Danny was still alive, proceeded to shoot him 3 more times. After the murders, Heidler kidnapped 3 of the family's young daughters, but he left behind the 2 youngest children, a 4-year-old boy and a 10-month-old infant. He sexually assaulted one of the girls, who was 8, before abandoning the trio on a road in Bacon County.
Mm-hmm.
The girls were found by a farmer and returned to authorities, who later discovered the dead bodies. Heidler threw the shotgun into the river, visited his stillborn son's grave, and then went to his mom's house to play video games and fell asleep. Wow.
That's what I do before video games. Gotta stretch.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, you're grieving because you lost your child, so you take someone else's? That's messed up.
Yeah. So.
But he escaped. He was put in Georgia state law offense. The malice murders wanted either life imprisonment or the death penalty, and then he escaped by sawed through the bars of his cell window and escaped.
Isn't that crazy? But 12 hours after his escape, he was arrested after he was spotted 6 miles away from the prison he escaped from. Following the escape and attempt to recapture Heidler and the state and local authorities plan to review the security measures to prevent similar attempts in the future. These prisons, man, they don't have like anything. They really need to up their prison. It's hard to say. About the prison thing because they are like sneaky because all they really have is time, so they have plenty of time to figure out all the little
quirks to get out.
Any kind of mishap they have, any kind of like, okay, there's 5 inches here in that corner that the camera's not in, that's where we can go escape from. I mean, they get everything down. Jerry Scott Heidler, he was born in June 1977 in the state of Georgia. As a child, he was placed in foster care due to neglect and poor supervision of his mother, Mary Mosley.
It's always a mom's fault.
So he knows about the foster care system and everything. Being in foster care, you kind of feel like left out and that kind of thing. Like it's just not the same, even though you're with a family and they can treat you normal, but it's just not the same because you're not their child.
He was abused by his stepfather and mother too, though.
Yeah, he also suffered severe abuse from both his stepfather and mother. According to testimonies from the Children's Services, workers painted a disturbing picture of his upbringing, where threats of voodoo, emotionally and voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
Really, voodoo?
Yeah, they're still around.
Emotionally instably and dysfunctional were a commonplace. Hyder reported.
I could try some on you for tomorrow.
I think we're having enough fun tomorrow. Had imaginary friends, self-mutilated, and twice institutionalized for psychiatric care during his youth. Heidler was also addicted to alcohol at the tender age of 11.
Can't imagine being an alcoholic at 11. That's a rough life.
How did he afford that alcohol? Who got it for him? Well, back then, I guess it
probably
really
on
didn't
the
matter.
streets.
He was incarcerated. Nearly all of Heidler's siblings were incarcerated or varied offenses at the time when Heidler was tried for murdering the Daniels family. According to state psychologists, he suffered from severe borderline personality disorder.
You think?
Including attempted suicide, intense fear of abandonment, emotional instability, and it says that he had little control over his actions due to genetic predisposition, but I don't know. On August 23rd, 1999, Heather officially stood trial. The prosecution labeled the murders as cold and methodical, arguing that his motive arose from Danny Daniels' opposition relationship with Jessica, and sought to prove the guilt of Heidler. But while the defense tried to present their case, Heidler, as a mentally ill person, had to downplay his guilt on the grounds of diminished responsibility. Let's see.
Can you imagine a place being called Santa Claus, though?
Yeah.
The town of Santa Claus.
On September 2nd, 1999, deliberating the case for 20 minutes, the jury found Heidler guilty in 11 counts, including the murders of Danny, Kim, Jessica, that was an 11th grade college student, Brian Daniels, the 3rd grade student, and the kidnapping of the 3 daughters and the sexual assault of 1. The jury rejected the defense's plea to consider Heidler guilty but mentally ill. On September 4th, 1999, the jury returned with their verdict on their sentence and unanimously sentenced 22-year-old Jerry Heidler to death for each of the 4 murders. Apart from the 4 death sentences, Heidler also was handed 2 life sentences for the kidnapping and sodomy charges and 110 more years for remaining crimes. So let me tell you, if he dies and comes back, he's still going to be in prison.
That's already been proven.
He was handed extra life sentences for that one. Let's see, they gave the maximum on all sets. His execution date is between October 1st and 8th, 1999, though the sentence would automatically be appealed by the Georgia Supreme Court. Wow. Let's see. Jury foreman James Burrows read a statement on behalf of the jury expressing how the case deeply affected them and how they prayed for guidance for each of the decision. For the Daniels family's loved ones, the verdict brought some sense of closure. While they expressed sorrow for the Hyler's family, they believe justice has been served. As Kim Daniels' sister put it, he did what he did for no reason, and I feel he needs to pay for it. Yeah.
Craziness.
We were just talking in the other podcast, the Texas 7, how this guy, he got a life sentence, and he ended up having a heart attack, and he died, and they brought him back. And
he thought he was done with his life sentence because he died, technically.
Yeah, so he argued the fact that
he did his life.
Yeah, he did his sentence and everything, and they said no because he said, well, his argument was he didn't agree to being brought back to life. That wasn't he didn't okay that. So he feels that he had did his life sentence, but they feel that that doesn't count. And somebody else said maybe that he should have had
DNR.
Well, that too, and they said that maybe he should have had a second life sentence or something at the end, like that guy did. He had extra life sentences. So, but yeah, needless to say, they didn't let him out. But it was a very good try. I give him that.
Kudos for trying.
Yes, that was a definite good one for trying on that one. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I would have fought that one too, I guess. Because technically he's I didn't agree to that, but you feel there's no DNR and you didn't already sign up for a DNR, that's your full code. You know, I don't know if prison gives you, I'm sure they give you an option of DNR and no DNR. And then as time goes on, if your life in prison, if you get, I guess it doesn't matter if your life in prison, you die, you die.
Right,
but they brought him back, so.
I'm curious how that works.
But he was also at the hospital when he died, too. So, and they thought, there's no DNR paper to bring him back. They probably should have looked at a life sentence and be like, you know what, we'll let him go. But yeah, that was pretty interesting one too. Oh, we did do our podcast a little bit early today because we are going to the game, the Browns-Steelers game tomorrow, and we did it even a little bit earlier today than 6:30, for the simple fact that we did do Christmas dinner today. We didn't know how long everything was going to go on, so we figured we'd get it done while we had the chance a little bit early. Which now it is 6:30.
Yeah, I know.
So that's probably good we just did it now too, because we definitely have to rest up because we got to get up early tomorrow and busy day. Very busy day.
Murders, they still happen even on Christmas.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
But we're going to get off here. I know this wasn't a very long one, but we did do the Texas 7, and that was today's.
But there is a longer version of this.
On Podbean, if you want to check that out. We're doing, what's it called? The Pittsburgh 6 on January 11th at 6:30. That is a Sunday. We'll be on a regular scheduled day. We'll try to announce it on here if it's going to be different, but go to our podcast page, YouTube page, or Facebook page, I'm sorry.
You're done.
Pure Evil inside the Mindz of Serial Killers. Make sure you hit the one with a Z instead of the S, and then make sure you like and subscribe to it, and yeah, we'll definitely be there, and it'll be, usually our hour long.
With mics on.
Yeah, with mics on this time. That's the only reason why we did a quick version of this, but if you want to hear the other one, it's on Podbean. You can just listen to that. We appreciate you guys listening, subscribing, and liking everything. We'll see you guys.
Have a good holiday.
Yes, have a happy holiday. We'll see you guys January 11th. Hope you have a new year. Happy New Year, and we'll hopefully
watch the
2026
game.
Yes, watch the game. Look for us. You'll see us. I have lighted pants on and a lighted hat on. You'll see us. But thanks for everybody for watching. This year's been great with this podcast, and hopefully next year's even better. And hopefully we get a lot of good stuff. We did the Texas 7 earlier, and we are hoping to get a hold of Mr. Murphy, and hopefully to bring him on. If not, I mean, sometimes they just tell us what they want us to say, and they don't want to be on there. That's up to them. But we'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you